I am an entrepreneur and have dedicated the second half of my life to helping other people succeed as owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Carls of the Marion Foundation. The leading foundation in entrepreneurship wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal 2 days ago and said that there has been very little empirical study on what really makes a business successful. Most of what university entrepreneurship departments teach is absurd. In fact, he said there are about 1687 entrepreneurship professors, and their main focus is to drink their own bathwater and say that entrepreneurs have to have a business plan. And if they have a business plan, they will be successful. They spend 2 years teaching people how to make business plans, and 49 out of 50 businesses are started without a business plan. Pay attention until the end of this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe here in Open Economics. Let's get started. Including some of the most successful businesses in the world, today and now, we are going to start learning what it is that we really need to do to build successful businesses and what we need to do. And what I'm doing here is absolutely wonderful because it can save you years of hard work and hundreds, even thousands of hours of hard work to understand how to do it. It is much faster in these principles. Here are the 7 great principles in business. I'll give them to you briefly. First of all, successful businesses have great leadership. And leadership is the ability to get results, but also the ability to allocate resources. Which means making tough decisions, because if decisions were easy, everyone would be a leader and everyone would be rich. Making decisions using slow thinking. Thinking long-term is the critical job of a leader. And it is said that the first job of leaders is to ask, what are the results expected of me? And I add, as a leader, what is the most important result I need to achieve the sales and profitability I am responsible for? One of the rules we learn in business is never complain about anybody or anything in our business, because we are the bosses. We are the ones who decide this. Don't complain about your staff, because you are the one who hires the person. If you don't like the person, get rid of them. Don't complain about them. You just sound like an idiot. It's like picking up food from the buffet and saying, I don't like this food. I've never liked this food. I've always hated this food. Well, why did you pick it up? Then, well, I don't know. In fact, never complain about something in your business if you're in charge of it. If you don't like something, change it. If you don't want to change it, shut up now. This allows me to move on a little bit. One of the characteristics of superior entrepreneurs is that they are intensely solution-oriented. When something goes wrong, they immediately calm down and say, well, what is the solution? What is our next action? What mediocre people do is say, who did this? How did this happen? They start a witch house, and of course that makes them angry and frustrated. But senior executives, when something goes wrong, a problem with a customer, a problem with money, a problem with invoices, a problem with delivery or defects in the product, they say, well, how do we solve it? What is the solution? Here is something wonderful. Your success in life will be measured by your ability to solve problems. Leadership is the ability to solve problems, and success is the ability to solve problems. Here is the point. The way you solve problems is by simply thinking of solutions. What are all the possible solutions? Be intensely solution-oriented. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in negativity, anger, or unhappiness about the problem and who caused it. Focus on the solution and the actions you can take. And when you start thinking about solutions, remember the wonderful phrase, when you head towards the light, shadows are left behind. When you start thinking about solutions, your mind will calm down, your creativity will be activated. As lights, you will start to have more energy, to feel more confident. Thinking about problems makes you negative. And turn off your brain. Thinking about who is at fault is even worse. But thinking about what you can do and the actions you can take puts you back in charge. The second principle is to have a great product or service. For me, this was a revelation, and they are such simple principles that if you follow them to the letter, you will be able to achieve results much faster. 90% of your success in business will be having a great product. First of all, and this is something that a lot of people overlook, they think that if they have a product and they spend thousands of dollars attending really good seminars, they will be taught some marketing tricks and gimmicks to fool people into buying it. And they spend huge amounts of time and money trying to advertise or market what is a stupid product. Inc. magazine did an article on the list of 500 companies that are the 500 fastest growing companies in the United States over a period of 3 years, and every year they updated. The latest edition that came out a couple of months ago showed that the fastest growing company, that is number 1, grew 42,500%. Amazing how it grew so fast. Other companies grew 5 to 50 times in 2 to 3 years. These are all relatively new companies, started by people like the people in this room. They grew 5 to 100 times. What was the key? They went back and hired outside researchers to analyze it, and you know what they found? All the companies put a huge emphasis on quality. They were obsessed with quality as their customers defined it, and they were well connected to the customer. So the best advice would be, think like a customer. That's one of the most important teachings at today's conference. Think like a customer. The best companies think like a customer. Think about what customers want, what they need, and you know what the key to success is. Make your customers happy and then make them happier than your competitors. Then every day wake up and think, how can I make my customers happier? They interviewed the CEOs of 4 of the fastest growing 500 companies, and every one of them was obsessed with customers. They thought about customers. They talked about customers. They visited them. They called them personally. They responded to customer complaints. They were just obsessed with it, which repeats once again that 90% of your success will be based on the quality of your product or service. Now, how can you know if you have a great product or service? Well, it's a very simple test. And this test predicts your future more than anything else in your business career. How often do your customers, after using your product or service, tell someone else, wow, that's a great product, that's a great service, that's a great company, they're great people? How many people say, that's a great product? Let's say 50%, 40% on average. In the United States, it's about 30 or 35%. The best companies like Apple, who launched the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad, get people to consume the product. The next time they launch an iPhone, people sleep on the sidewalks, in lines of hundreds of people to be the first to buy it. When they launch an iPad, hundreds of people sleep on the sidewalks to buy it and pay exorbitant amounts. Then they start showing it to others and they say, isn't this a great product? And then they have apps and they say, look at this, look what you could do with this app. How many people have an iPod 5 or an iPhone 12, 13, or 14? How many of you showed other people the panoramic feature? You know how you can take panoramic pictures? It's not a great concept, you know? It used to cost thousands of dollars to have panoramic cameras that could take a panorama, and now you have it on your iPhone. This is one of the 1,000 different things you can do. So the people who buy their products, they become their main salespeople. They go around catching people and bothering them to show them the product or brag about the product. That is the most important key to our success. So let's go back to the study. The researchers asked, what is the best place for a company to invest if you want to increase your sales and profitability? And the answer was that after analyzing everything else, the best investment is to improve the quality of your product. Make them buy from you. Make them buy again and tell their friends, then you will be successful. You will be rich. You will be respected. And more than anything else, you will be as happy as you can be, because there is no greater joy than making our customers happy from the start. Principle number 3 is to have a great business plan, but a great business plan simply requires you to think through on paper the critical aspects of your business, and especially analyze what it is going to cost. How much can you sell it for? What kind of profits can you make? Who are the people you will need, etc. There is a great story about Napoleon's generals around a big table with maps of Europe spread out, discussing which cities, municipalities they would attack with the army. The next time, Napoleon would come in from his office nearby and ask them what they were doing. They would reply that they were planning to move the army from here to there, and he would say, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but we can't do it. We don't have horses. The expression, we don't have the horses, comes from Napoleon, and what he meant was that the whole success of the army depended on having enough horses for the cavalry, and to pull the wagons with supplies and everything else. They saw the cannons, but the horses were scarce, so the whole success of the army depended on whether they could get the horses. So when you just get the right people, it refers to where do we get the horses? We have the ideas. We know what needs to be done. But where do we get the horses? These are the things you need to think about in a business plan. What kind of technology will you need? How much will it cost to install it? Who will manage it and operate it? What kind of advertising, promotion, or marketing will you need? How much will it cost? What kind of returns will you get? A business plan, and I'm sure you have many common business plan templates, forces you to think long-term and think slowly. You will always make better business decisions if you think long-term and slowly. The 4th principle has to do with having a great marketing plan. And a great marketing plan is what you talk about all the time. But there is a rule in advertising. I used to work for a big advertising agency, and the rule is that the fastest way to kill a product, a bad product, is to advertise it or promote it too much, because if you promote it, what happens? More people use it, more people get mad at it, then they tell more people and the product dies. So the quickest way to kill a bad product is to promote it. And a lot of people think, or not, the way I can get my money back is to sell it to people before enough people realize how bad it is. My point is that marketing is all about how you attract people to your product or service. There is a difference between marketing and sales. You know what it is? Imagine me saying at noon at this conference, "Is anybody here hungry? Raise your hand." Well, that's marketing. I'm interested in your product or service. I'm interested in the product or service in general. Anyone here would like to save money, make money, lose weight, be happy, pick up girls? Or whatever. Then the second part is, now, I have a restaurant. Let me tell you why you should come to my restaurant to satisfy your hunger instead of going to the competition. Those are the two parts marketing. It's attracting people who raise their hand and are interested in the benefit that your product or service offers, and selling is converting them into customers who buy from you instead of your competitors. Principle number 5 is that you need a great sales plan and a great sales plan. It's a sale that consistently and predictably converts prospects into customers. Now here's the rule. If you have a professional sales process, and 100% of successful companies have a professional sales process. If you talk to a salesperson who works for an international company, who has a branch office in Warsaw, and if you talk to the salesperson in Warsaw, or the salesperson in Los Angeles, or the salesperson in Johannesburg, 100% of them use exactly the same sales process. The first contact will be a phone call to offer you a benefit and try to set up an appointment, and the words will be word for word. The reason this company almost went bankrupt is because they were all selling their own way. They would say anything they could think of when they met a prospect. And they realized that without a sales process, even though they had a great product, which they do, that was hurting them. So they systematized the sales process, and their sales increased 1,000%. Business results can be expressed in numerical form, from the number of phone calls to the number of seconds it takes a person to make a connection with someone who can help them. You know what most entrepreneurs focus on? Sales, sales, sales. Everybody knows that. That's all true. What if you lose money on every sale? Then the more you sell, the faster you go broke. And you know, a lot of companies lose money on every sale because they don't consider all the costs of the sale. They don't include their own labor. They don't include rent, utilities, delivery costs. They leave out defects. They think about packaging theft and so on. There are companies that sell a lot. How can you lose 3 billion if you sold 11 billion? You know why? Because they don't know the numbers. And what they are doing is working more and more to sell more and more products, in which they are losing more and more money. And the thing is, nobody has sat down to calculate the attributable costs. All clear? Okay, the last principle of the 7. By the way, this is the one that I love, and this is the future, by the way, the front end of the business. The first book is to have a great product or service from the beginning, and the last one is to have a great customer service experience, and I can't tell you how important this is. I mean, this is what I and my team have been working on all our lives, making our customers so happy at the beginning and so happy with the product and happy afterward. It's the key to repeat business. It's the key to rapid growth. Every successful company, without exception, is obsessed with taking good care of their customers. Once they get them, and if they have a complaint from a customer, the director of the company can't sleep at night because they are so annoyed by customer complaints that they go personally to visit them because they consider customer happiness. Yes, it is the most important thing in the world. We are in the customer happiness business. We just happen to, in the shoe world, sell shoes. And if we sold anything else, we would still be in the customer happiness business. How much was that worth to Tony, the mentor of this world? Yet he sold it for $1.2 billion and took home $350 million. Not bad. Making your customers happy works, yes. But how often does it work? 100% of the time. There we will help you. And so you will find that the best companies, those that you really like and want to come back to, are the companies that make you feel happy. That is, they make you feel good. As a result of having done business with them, they take good care of you, and as a result, you come back again and again, and bring your friends. Those are the 7 aspects of greatness that we talk about here. Great leadership, great products or services, great marketing plan, great sales plan, great numbers, great planning, great customer service experience. Now, we know scientifically and exactly what you must do to build a highly profitable business, and the wonderful thing is, it's all easy to learn. You can learn any of these skills, whatever I explain to you. It's as simple as tap water. All you have to do is ask yourself, can I do that? Can I do more of that? Can I make it better? Can we do that? Well, I hope you found this video amazing and useful. Here are some other videos of value. Remember, if you like this video, subscribe to Open Economics so you don't miss any of our videos. See you next time.